Growing unrest across the Middle East after that deadly blast at a Gaza hospital, and video shows some protesters throwing tear gas and stones at Palestinian forces. The rising tensions there have U.S. allies on alert as the potential for violence is spreading to other countries as Israel fights against Hamas. Joining us now for more insight, let's bring in Russell Berman, senior fellow at the Hoover Institute. He's also a professor in the humanities at Stanford University. Thank you so much for being with us, Professor. First of all, based on everything we know, is this protest today a direct result of that call for a day of unprecedented anger?
Probably a result of that call, but in addition, it's a response to the hospital bombing in the Middle East. For Middle Easterners, there's no doubt that this is it was an Israeli attack, even though American intelligence now declares that Israel was not responsible.
So we see this protest today outside, or at least near the U.S. Embassy in Beirut. We saw a fire started there. How does today's clash potentially impact the likelihood of U.S. involvement in the war?
Protests in front of the American embassy in Beirut have a long history. One has to remember the 1983 Marine barracks bombing that killed hundreds. The protest in front of the embassy now is relatively small. The embassy is located outside of the city, but it is indicative of a worsening of the relations of the United States to a network of Arab states. There's popular opposition to Israel. There's also popular opposition to what's regarded as inactivity on the part of the Arab governments in support of the Palestinians.
You know, and Professor, in the last hour, we listened to a clip of one of the protesters, referring to the U.S. as the devil, blaming the U.S. really for all of this. How does President Biden's visit today, how does that potentially impact all of this?
Well, let's remember that many of these protesters are allied ideologically, if not financially, with Iran. And Iran has, since 1979, been treating the United States as the devil, as the great Satan. Israel, the little Satan, Iran as the great Satan. We're in a war with Iran, whether we like it or not. Iran is intends to drive the United States out of the Middle East. I think President Biden's trip probably moves the ball forward a bit on our side. I think the Biden administration made a mistake at its beginning in loosening the sanctions that the Trump administration has put in place. When the Trump administration left office, Iran was nearly bankrupt. The Biden administration lightened the sanctions, and with those funds, Iran has been able to fund its proxy armies around the region, including Hamas and Hezbollah.
And Professor, we just saw that map there of the Middle East. The State Department now is issuing this do not travel advisory for Lebanon. Do you think we'll see more of these advisories for more countries as each day passes, as we see more protests, as the war continues?
Well, it's clearly a moment of high tension, and there may well be more do not travel advisories, but it's a dangerous region in general. I think that the Biden administration may be able to calm the waters a bit through the opening of aid to Gaza, but there are the Iran-inspired radicals who are going to fight and who are going to denounce the United States no matter what the United States does.
Russell Berman, we certainly appreciate your input. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.